All right, welcome back. So what we're going to do now is that we have Discord authorized and working correctly, so that we can have Discord bots. We need to do the same thing to get a Discord with a webhook, and the webhook would be for sending outgoing messages in Discord. So to do this, we're going to first duplicate this stuff here, and now what I can do is open up my guide project, and I'm going to look at my auth controller. And so when I do my authorized Discord webhook, request authorized Discord webhook, I want to pass in here a redirect URI and then also a GUID for a route ID. So we're going to get our application user, and then I want to get my route. Okay, so let's look at services. One of the things that I need to start adding in here are we'll put it under servers, is I need to have a new task of a route VM called read route asynchronous, which is a GUID ID. We also want this to have a GUID for the application user ID. Okay, so we want a read route, we want a read routes, plural, of a stream ID. Like that. A read route, a create route, which is a route create request. Now let me look at my libraries underneath requests. You don't have anything here, so we want to have a new class here called route create request. And this is a base request. And when I look at a route, what is it made up of? This stuff. So it's got a stream on it, which I need the ID. And then I want the route type, and that's it. And then the other one is you want to have a remove route asynchronous, which is only going to be a GUID ID. There is no update route, and you just want to have that as a bool. Okay. I also know we're going to need to have in here a task of a stream DTO called read streams asynchronous of a GUID application user ID. We're also going to need to have a stream VM here called read stream asynchronous of a GUID ID and a GUID application user ID. I'll also need a create stream, an update stream, and a delete stream asynchronous. And this is a stream update request. And this is a stream create request. So when I look at stream, we'll move this over here. Yeah, I have one right here for it. Okay. So we also need to make in the data access layer under AutoMapper, where we have my routes. We also have a c.create map to a, and I don't want to do that. We'll leave this alone. Okay. And so now I want to read this route called route ID and my application user.id. Now I want to say if my route does not equal null, then what I want to do is get the stream, and I want to say and my route dot stream dot. Now I want to get my stream here. And that's going to be a route.stream.id and my application user ID. And now I want to say if my stream does not equal to null, then I can do this state. Okay. And then I want to try to remove this Discord state data. And we want to remove it from the Discord webhook state data. Couldn't you do this as a if my auth cache dot discord webhook dot try get value of my application user dot id out var, and this is called Discord webhook state. Then you can remove it. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to have a type of Discord webhook state. Hey there, Wishtaker. How are you doing today? And this one is webhook, Discord state webhook. And we want to add in state a redirect URI, and I guess we don't necessarily need this application user anymore on either of these. Like that. Okay. Okay, and then here we'll make the new state, which I don't care about that, and then the other one was a route ID. And then we're going to add that to the auth cache, Discord webhook data. And then we're going to return this receive authorize Discord webhook. And then you'll write your log and return. Whew. Okay. That looks right. Good, good. About to jump into more Angular learning. That's awesome, Wishdayer. Hey there, Purple Haze. I just found this channel. I'm a junior web dev in the making. Greetings, how are you doing? Welcome. Glad to have you here. What stack is he using to build? I'm using ASP.NET Web API Core with SignalR for the backend. I'm also using WebAPI for that. I'm using Identity Server 4 for my authorization server, Angular 7 CLI for the front end. We're also using a C# service for the bot itself. Okay, so this one is my request authorized Discord webhook callback. And I want to pass in here a token Discord webhook response. And we're going to have this as a new one called authorized Discord webhook. And then the same one with a callback. Like that, okay? I'm a MERN stack myself. That's cool. Whoa, nice. That's fun. Welcome. So you're using Mongo and React and Node, and what's the E in that? So now we're going to get this out of my Discord webhook state data for my state data compare. And I need to look in my auth callback controller. This one. And what we're doing here is when I retrieve my Discord state data, I remove it, and then I'm going to say if my state is equal to my state, up here, we want to make sure that my state is the same, right? That's happening on the client, on the server side, or on the client side now. So that means that the state is fine, which means I don't need to compare it anymore. I don't need to do that yet. And now what I'm going to do is this. Express. There we go. Is that your backend language? I don't use Express. So this one, we're going to get my response.webhook.url.split. We're going to get my token and my ID. I'm going to make my REST client. I'm going to log in here with my response.access token. Next thing I want to get is my user. And it's my services.read user Discord asynchronous, where my REST client.current user.id.toString. If it's null, then we're going to do a await services.create user Discord asynchronous. We're going to pass in this new request, which has my avatar URL, my ID, my display name, my provider ID, and the username is rest client.current user.username. We want to get a var provider equals await services dot read provider, and we want to pass in the Discord. How long are you into coding? How long do you code? I'm going for 2 hours this morning. I mean, I'm at 2 hours. I don't know what your question exactly is. Like, how much in a day do I code? Like that. Okay, and now what we want to do is I want to get my server. So var server discord equals await services dot read server discord of my response dot guild dot id. So now if my server discord is equal to null, then I want to create it. And I'm going to pass in this response, which has my ID, which is my response.guild.id, my name, which is my response.guild.name, and my user ID, which is my user discord.id. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff down here now. Okay. And now what we're going to say is, when did you start coding? 5th grade. So I was a kid, maybe 10 years old or so. So in here now, I want to say if there isn't any channels in server Discord where my now this is a type of channel Discord, which is a DTO. So if I look in a channel Discord, should have this string called Discord channel ID. And otherwise what I want to do is now in my services, underneath server Discord, I want to have this for a server to channel. Which means I need to have under my requests here a new type here called channel. And I want to have a channel request, which is a base request, and we'll make this a public. And I want to make it abstract. And then I want to have a channel Discord create request. And this is going to be a type of channel request. And I'm going to change that to be a channel create request. Okay. And then when I look at a channel, it's got a couple of things on it. It's got a name. It's got a GUID for my server ID. It's got a Discord channel ID on this one. Beautiful. Okay. We also need to have a channel update request. Which is a update request. Which only needs to have the name on it. And then a channel Discord update request, which is a here. And then on my data access layer, I need to map a channel Discord create request to a channel Discord. And then you also need to have one for the update request. Looks good. So back in the hub, right here, I want to do a var channel Discord, and otherwise we want to do a, so let me do a var channel Discord equals this, and we want to do a first or default. And if my channel Discord is equal to null, then I'm going to do a channel Discord equals await services dot create channel Discord asynchronous of my this create object which I just made, which is my response.webhook.channel-id. And the name here is the response.webhook.name, and the server ID is my server discord.id. Otherwise, we want to do the same thing here, except it's a update channel Discord asynchronous. And this is going to be a channel Discord equals channel Discord, or sorry. Like that. So now if this is equal to null, then we're going to set this one here. Otherwise, I'm going to update it with this channel update request, which is only these two. And then I can make this a conditional. Okay, the next one is the bot. So I want to do a var bot discord equals await services dot read bot discord asynchronous of my and this one should be, I think it's my user ID. Yeah, user discord.id and my application user.id. And then if bot discord is not equal to null, then I'm going to do a await services.remove bot discord of my bot discord.id and my application user.id. And then here we're going to do a bot discord equals await services.create bot discord asynchronous of my new request plus my application user.id. So here, if my bot user does not equal to null, this is going to be your shoot. Let me go back just a minute because I want this stuff in here. Like that. And this is response. Okay, so now if this does not equal to null, then what we're going to do is we're going to make a path channel webhook. And then we authorize it out. So this is the last one. So I want to go into my services. And what I need to have in here is a read paths asynchronous of a path DTO, which is of a route ID. And then I want to have a remove, or we'll just call this a delete path asynchronous, like that. And then we need to have a task of a path server VM called read path server asynchronous of a GUID ID and an application user ID. And then you want to have a create path server, which is a path server create request. And then you want to have a, I think that's it. Is there an update for that? I don't think so, because a path just is linking to a server and a path type. So no, it can't update. And then we need to have the same one here for a read path channel asynchronous, create path channel asynchronous, which is a path channel create request. And these are path channel VMs. And then you find the last one here is a read path channel webhook. Like that. Okay. So now in my library under requests, I want one called paths, and I have a path create request, which is a base request. And then I have a path server create request. Like that. And then a path channel create request. And then a path channel webhook create request. Okay, so now in my data access layer, under my auto mapper, I'm going to add those in here. Under path, path server create request. We'll have this one as a, no, we don't want that. This one is a path channel create request. And this one is a path channel webhook create request to a webhook. Okay, so now we need to fill those. So if I open this up to path and then path channel webhook, and path server. If I look at my create requests here, your webhook needs to have on it these two. The channel needs to have on it this one. The path server needs to have on it this one. And that's it. So back on my hub, or it's in my services, my hub. Second. Yeah, that's fine. Right here, I can do a so you're adding a new path channel webhook. So it's a path channel webhook. Hey there, Failer. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Equals await services dot create path channel webhook asynchronous. And we're going to pass in one of these requests. And then also my application user.id. And on this, it needs to have a channel ID. So this is making sure that the channel exists. So this is going to be your channel Discord ID. Your webhook ID is webhook ID. Your webhook token equals webhook token. Let's see, there's a couple of other ones in here that you missed, which was on path. You need to have these two. So doesn't that come from the state? Like that. Okay. So we got that one. And then if this is not null, then what we can do is this. We'll pass back both of these like that, and then we'll just return. Because if not, we'll catch it and write the log, and then we'll just pass back nothing and nothing and write the log. So that looks pretty good for our callback. So back over in the code base for Angular, this, we can get rid of that one. And I want to say that up here we want to have a authorized Discord. Can I have multiple of these things? I don't think so. Authorized Discord webhook callback received. Okay, and if I look here, we want to have a new interface called iDiscord webhook state data, which is going to be extends the iDiscord state data. And on this one, we want it to have just the route ID on it. Hey there, Psychotronic. I'm doing great. How are you? I'm having a great day. How are you? Okay, the next thing is here. We have this receive authorized Discord webhook, which is iDiscord webhook state data. Like that. Receive authorized Discord webhook callback. Authorized Discord webhook callback. Same weekend is always good no matter what. I agree with you there, buddy. Okay, the next one is we're also going to have another piece of data here called path channel webhook, which is an iPath channel webhook. Okay, we need to have a request authorized Discord webhook, which is it also needs to have in it a route ID, which is a string. Like that. Like this. And then we're going to do request authorized Discord webhook callback. And then down here we need to have these two. Get authorized Discord webhook and webhook callback. Like that. Okay. So now that that's done, The next one is on my app component. We want to add in here a Discord webhook auth callback. And I want to discard that down here. And then up here I want to do a this.discord webhook auth callback equals webhook get authorized Discord webhook callback. And I want to subscribe here an bot that came in. And I want to say if there is a bot, then we're going to do a you have successfully added the Discord outbound bot. Otherwise, you just want to not do that here. Otherwise, you could not add the Discord outbound bot. Please try again later. Okay. On this one, we need to do this again here, and it's Discord webhook exchange auth code for token. And in this one, we're going to do this redirect here. With this client ID, my scope needs to be sorry, this one happens first in the bots component. We need to do a I'm going to get rid of this one for a minute, and I'm just going to do this as a this.webhubservice.request authorized Discord callback, and I'll do it for my API, my app URL, plus a callback, and I think we called it what did I call it? I have to look at my Discord app. Just a second here. Discord webhook. Like that. And then when this happens, up here, I want to do this one again. And it's called a this not authorized Discord webhook received. Like that. Discord webhook state data. And we need to dispose of that here. Okay. And then on my auth, I want to do a response type is code. My scope is bot, identify, guilds.join, and then also webhook.incoming. And everything else looks the same. And then an auth callback. This one, I feel like we need to check the state. So I think we need one more step here where I validate against my server one more time that the state is good, but we'll do that in a minute. And I'll do this, http auth.discord webhook exchange auth for token. We'll pass in the code. And then we will subscribe my results here. And then we can do a this.webhub.request authorize Discord webhook callback of my results. And that should do it. Now I'm still never checking that the state is the same here, right? Because you're already exchanging the token. So that's something we'll fix in just a second. Let's go ahead and start the app up. So I need to unload this one. We'll start the app up. And this one says it's under my WebHub service and bots. It can't find that. That's not accurate. Compiled successfully. And then over here, we have a number of functions we need to implement. So this one can't find there. This one doesn't have. Discord state. Webhook data. Like that. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. And now what I need to do is I need to implement my web APIs, right? This one we want to do a if my auth cache dot try get value of my Twitch state data of my application user dot id out var state. Then we want to remove it. Like that. So let me go back just one more second to do this, this. And then we'll pass in this one. Okay, and now the last things that we have is our data access layer here. So let's add these services in. So we'll implement them. Let's take a look at what we have to do. We have, it didn't collapse them. Read channels, create channels, delete channels, update channels, read streams, create streams, update streams, delete streams. We have to do the same for the routes and then for the paths. So we got quite a little bit here. So let's start with our channel Discord. And I'll put that here under server Discord. And the first one I want to do is this one. So we're going to grab my entity for channels Discord, where the ID is equal to that. And then we're going to map to a channel Discord VM here. And this is a virtual asynchronous task. Let's add this in for all of these ones. Okay, the next one is another read channel, so we can use this one here. And we want to get the one where the Discord channel ID is equal to Discord ID. This one's a create, so we'll use this one. So I'm going to map my channel Discord from my request. And now I want to do a context.add to my channel's Discord. And then I just want to return this here and read channel Discord asynchronous, like that. This one's the update. So in this one, we want to do this as a channels Discord. I want to get the one where the ID is equal to it, and then all we're going to set is the name. Read channel Discord asynchronous. And the last one here is the delete, which is here. This is going to be a channels Discord. We're getting the first one here. If my entity does not equal to null, we're going to set it to inactive, and that's that. Okay. The next set that I have here are streams. So I'll put that here. So the first one is we're going to read a virtual asynchronous task here for all of these. And what we're doing is we're going to get my streams where my ID is equal to that and my s.application user ID is equal to application user ID and it's active. And then we're going to map it across. We're going to do the same thing here, except it's a little different. This is entities, and we want to do a where my s.application user ID is equal to application user ID and it's active. Dot toList asynchronous. And then I want to do my var DTOs equals a new list of stream DTO. And then I want to do a for each var entity and entities. I want to do a dtos.add mapper.map my stream DTO to my entity. And then down here I want to return my DTOs dot to array. Okay, this next one is a create stream. So I'm going to map across my request and put it in streams and then do a read stream asynchronous. I need to do the update stream. which is this one. And if I look at the request, it's name, has currency, has currency, has commands, and has games. And this is read stream asynchronous. We need to have that little bit of validation in there. Okay, the last one is delete, so we can take it from here. And what we're going to do is grab all of them from here, of my streams, and then you'll just set that to be inactive. Okay, that one's done. The next one we have is routes. So when I look at this, we'll do this as a virtual asynchronous task. So for this first one, we'll get all of my routes here. Where my stream ID is equal to stream ID. I want to include my stream, so that way my s.stream.application user ID is equal to application user ID, and it's active. And then we want to get all of the routes. We're going to map them to a route DTO, which can't be marked as abstract for that to work. Looks good. This one is to read one route. So we'll use this one here. Now, you don't know if this is route inbound or outbound, right? So I don't like this. Let me go back up here. I'm going to change this to be a read route inbound and then a read route outbound. So this is read route inbound. So routes inbound, and we want to get the first one, and we want to include my stream, and we want to include my stream.application user, because we want to get the route inbound where the ID is equal to that, where the stream.application user is equal to that, and then we're going to map this to my route inbound VM. Yeah. Okay. And then we also need to have another one here called read route outbound, which is this routes outbound. And I want to include my bot for this one, I think. And we also want to include the stream. And then this goes to a route outbound. Now this is wrong. You actually need to make a create route. So it's a route create inbound request, which is a route create request, which should be abstract. And then you should have a route outbound, route create outbound request, which is going to be the same thing as the inbound request, except we want to have a GUID for my bot ID. So in the data access layer, let's add those in before I forget. So we have a route inbound create request goes to a route inbound. Okay, sorry, like that. And then back over in the data access layer, we can put this as route inbound create request. And then the same thing for route outbound create request. So when I look at this now, we want create route inbound asynchronous, and then create route outbound asynchronous. Now I don't think we even need this create route inbound, because when I can get rid of this and then also this one, because I don't need create route outbound. Route outbound create request. Because the inbound one is automatically created when you make a bot or a stream. So this time we're going to map my request to a route outbound, which should have a bot ID on it, and it does. We're going to add this to routes outbound, and then I'll do a read route outbound asynchronous. Down here we want to do the delete route, which is in here. So this is for any routes. And we want to include here the stream. Like that. Okay, we have a few more here, but one thing I wanted to do was when I create a stream, not only do I want to do that, but I also want to do a entity dot routes. So I want to do a var inbound route is equal to new route inbound. And we're going to say that my route type is inbound. My stream ID is entity.id. We don't have any paths on it, and that's it. And I want to do context.routes inbound.add inbound route, which we'll rename route inbound. When you do this, we want to include my routes. Okay, now we're on paths. So we have read path and delete path, which go here. So these are virtual asynchronous tasks. My read paths, we'll use this one for plural. And what you want to do is you want to get your paths, and you want to include route, and you want to include route.stream, where your where your ID, route ID is equal to route ID, and your route.stream, an application user ID, and it's active. And then we want to put that to a path DTO, which should not be abstract, and it's not. And then you're going to map that to a path DTO, and then you're going to return the array. The next one is the delete. So for that, we're going to look at this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of my paths, and we're going to include the route and the route.stream. We want to get the first one where all of that is the same. And if it is, we'll set it inactive and delete it. The last one we have is these here. Let me look at this thing. It says that read route doesn't exist. So this is an outbound route. Okay. So this one, let's move this up here. So when we read my path server, we'll look at this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a paths servers, and we want to include the server. We want to get the first one, and we want to get this for a route or a route.stream. And then you're going to convert that over to a path server VM. This is a create, so we'll use this one. What do I use for version control? I use GitHub and source tree. And then this one's going to be my path server, because this should just have a server ID and it should all map correctly one-to-one. And this is going to be path servers, and this is going to be read path server asynchronous, like that. Okay, we got 4 more, so let's just bring them all up at one time. We'll bring this stuff in. And then what I want to do is my read. Put this one in here. as read paths channels, and we want to include channel. That's fine. Like that. And then the last one here is read path channel webhooks, paths channels webhooks. Like that. And then we have two more, which is this create needs to go in create path channels here. And then this one needs to be a path channel webhook. Like that. And that should do it. And then when I rebuild this, telling me it's got a couple of errors in here because it can't find what? You don't see the error. I'm a little confused as to what is the problem here. allie.chat WebAPI will unload that one. It says it's in the data access layer, I think. Here we go. There's no route inbound anymore. Reload everything up. It should be fine now. That looks good. Let's give it a run. This time when I look at my paths channels here, I'm just making sure that I'm this one. Let me fix this. We want to do if my auth cache dot try get value dot discord state data dot try get value of my application user dot id and your out discord state, then you can remove it. Like that. Okay, that looks really nice. Just make sure that these are firing here. 1, 2. Okay, let's make sure it works. Okay, we go into bots. I'm going to create a new Discord bot. Hold on. So what happened here is now when I click that button, it just wants this one. And you're going to need to have a route ID associated with it, right? Failed to invocate this because this needs to be a GUID. So I think that it's going to work, but I just don't have that available at this moment. If I was to go back here and change this into a string and did a GUID.parse of my route ID, and a GUID.parse of my route ID again, hey there, great gamer. How are you doing? I see you up on the board playing some no turning back every now and then. We'll go to bots. I want to create a Discord bot. Good, it fires. We should get null. Should error out here. Looks good. So now if I go back to this, make this back into a GUID. What I know is going to happen now is that after I auth in here, it needs to check for a route. And then when it gets one, so we'll just leave it like this for now. Okay, the next thing I want to do is over here where we're getting my bot. And I want to do a var bot DTO equals this. Does this have an access token? No, so that's fine. But it's on this one. I want to say if my entity does not equal to null, then I want to do a var bot equals that. And now if my entity.user.provider.provider type is equal to Twitch or entity.user.provider.provider type is equal to Discord, then we want to do entity bot.oauth token equals string.empty. Hey, Official Sound, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. And then here we want to do a return bot, which I'm going to rename to be VM, and then I can do a return null. So back over here, when we're looking at this, just a second, I think that's a tick. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So over here, I have a link here to that specific bot. And what I want to say is ngIf equals, and it's my bot dot, sorry, it's my element dot user provider. So if my element.user.provider.name does not equal to Twitch and my element.user.provider.name does not equal to Discord, then you'll do this. Otherwise, we'll just do this again here as a div. if that's equal to Twitch or it's equal to Discord, then you'll just do that. So when we go back into this now, and I look at bots, my backend not running. Okay, interesting that it's failing here. Cannot read property of provider of undefined. So instead of doing it like this, I should just be able to do a provider off the element. There we go. And now if I wanted to create a WebSocket bot, I have to still code in here the save for it. But at the moment we have both of these running, which is great. And we have our allie.chat set up as well as our Discord bot. So if I was to jump over here at my host and step through my services, this one, we can start this up. We start Mongo, we get our service cache streams. I get my bot Twitch, which it found. I get my user Discord. Hey Greg, welcome back. It's good to see you. There's a plane above me. We got our user Discord. We don't have the bot, so we'll create it. Nicely done. We'll make our providers. Okay. Then, since none of this stuff is null, we're good to go. So my services are working. So that's great. All right. So what we've done is that we've hooked up the Discord regular auth and then the Discord webhook auth for any of our outgoing messages. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a break. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Then we'll go for 30 more. And what we're going to do during this next little bit is I think we'll finish up the bots panel so that we can create a WebSocket or a TCP bot. And then also, yeah, I think that would be a pretty good place for us to get. So, all right. Hey there, Greg. How are you doing? Maker Blaker, appreciate that you like the stream. Thanks for staying with me, guys. I'll be back in just 10 minutes. Don't touch that dial. See you in just a second.